So, with there being an epidemic of single men and women in this country today, with statistics stating that about 64% of men in this country are single. Now, that's bad news. But the good news is that there's always hope in Christ. But only in Christ is there any hope in regards to a fruitful, God-honoring marriage. So I thought it would be a good idea to give some tips to my single Christian brothers on how they can go about finding a Christian wife. Now, I'd like to spread this over 3 parts. And with this being the first part, let's begin. Now, before I start, I have to state this, okay? I don't have any advice for lost men that are not Christians. This advice is solely for obedient Christian men. And part of that obedience is belonging to a local church as a member, okay, to come under the authority of elders. So let's say you are a young Christian man or an older Christian man who is looking for a godly wife. So where do you start? Some might say, get on your phone, download a Christian dating app. Now, me personally, I would not advise that, at least not to start there. My personal opinion is that you start in your own local church. Now, why is this important? The problem with Christian dating apps is that you only know what they write or they tell you on their profile or what they tell you over the phone. But the problem with that is they could be lying. You don't know if it's true. The luxury of belonging to a local church is you get to see with your eyes, week after week, people's devotion, punctuality, and attendance on a weekly basis. This is very important. Okay, so let's say you are a 25-year-old Christian man. You begin attending a church, then you become a member of that church, and you begin to notice 2 or 3 single women about your age week to week. So week after week, you see these women attending faithfully. They are attending Bible studies. They are meeting with other sisters outside of the church for fellowship. They are always helpful to the church. They don't just come and go, right? They are useful and respected. They are a present body. Okay. Now, one of those 3 ladies stands out to you more than the others. She catches your eye a little bit more than the other 2, and you're interested. There's an interest inside you for this particular person. So what do you do next? You run up and you just let her know all your heart's desire. No, you don't do that. Okay. No. What you do, my advice would be to not make your heart's desire known to anyone about this young lady, but to go into a 3-month period of prayer where you're praying for this young lady every day. You include her in your morning devotions. You're praying for her. You're praying to God about her for, I would say, about 3 months. Take 3 months and just pray about this young lady every single day. Okay. Now, each Sunday that you see her at church, greet her as you would greet any other brethren. Okay. Start up small talk. Show interest in her from a brother-sister point of view. Okay. When me and my wife walk into church each Sunday, there's usually in the main hall, there's usually like maybe 4 or 5 members there that are just kind of hanging out, drinking coffee, talking. We make it a point to talk to each one of them to kind of find out what's going on. How was your week? Is there anything we need to pray about? Just talk. Okay. Showing interest in one another before we head off to Bible study. Now, after 3 months of prayer, the next step would be, in my own opinion, consult your pastor. Ask your pastor if you can schedule a meeting with them. Now, in this meeting, tell him the truth. Be honest. Make your desires known about this sister to him. Okay? How you're feeling. Why you're feeling this way. Okay? And then ask your pastor about her. Okay? What are his opinions of her? Are you wrong for even thinking this is an option? Okay? Whatever is on your mind, let it out. Be open and direct with your pastor in regards to this young lady. Now, if your pastor says, I think you two would be a great match, both of you are faithful to this church, and I see the love of Christ in both of you, etc., then I would say it's time to now make your interest known to this young lady. Now, in part 2, I'm going to go into how you can do that. Okay, certain ways you can go about doing that. Okay, so I hope to see you in part 2.